Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. In this video we are going to look at the topic automated systems. Now let's look at the definition of automated system. So an automated system is a combination of software and hardware that is designed and programmed to work automatically without the need of any human intervention. Now when we say that it's a combination of software and hardware, software is the programs that is required to control the system, and the hardware are the physical components of the system. And we say that they work automatically without the need of any human intervention, meaning that someone does not need to be on standby or does not need to be in the environment of that system for it to work. However, such systems often involve human monitoring, meaning that at period or days intervals, someone needs to go check on the system to ensure that the system is functioning properly. Now, the hardware that are needed in an automated system are sensors, microprocessor, and actuator. What is a sensor? A sensor is an input device that take readings from their surroundings and send this data to a microprocessor or a computer. So what the sensor does is it takes readings continuously at time intervals, and these readings are sent to the microprocessor for the microprocessor to process. Now, if the data is analog, then the data has to be converted to digital data because the microprocessor only understands digital data. Now, microprocessor. So the function of the microprocessor is to process the input from the sensors, and after it has processed the input from the sensor, if it is necessary, an instruction will be sent to other components of the system, such as actuator. What is an actuator? An actuator turns electrical signals into output such as movement. So basically the actuator is what controls the device that will perform an action. What are the applications of automated system? Automated system is used in industrial, in transportation, in agriculture, in weather, in gaming, in lighting, and in science. We're going to look at how automated systems are used in all of these applications. First, we have in transportation. So we have autonomous cars, and autonomous cars use sensors, cameras, actuators, and microprocessors to carry out their actions safely. So what is the function of the microprocessor in an autonomous car? The function is to process the data that is received either from the camera, the sensors, and then send signals to the actuator to perform physical actions. Physical actions such as changing the gear, applying the brakes, turning the steering wheel. What are the advantages of using automated system in transportation? Number one, it allows the same numbers of cars to use fewer parking space. When the system is parking, the system will park properly and is able to manage space. Okay, then avoid traffic disruption in the cities. Fewer dents and scratches to the car because autonomous vehicles will not make a mistake except if there's an error in the program. It's a safer system since sensors monitors all objects. What are the disadvantages? Over-reliance on automated system by the driver can cause loss of skills, meaning that when the driver rely on automated system for a long period of time, after a while, they will not know how to drive. Then, faulty or dirty sensors or cameras can send false data and images to the onboard computer. If your camera is dirty or the sensor is faulty, then the wrong readings can be sent to the system. Also, expensive option that doesn't really save the driver any money. Then it requires additional maintenance to ensure that it functions correctly at all times. So autonomous vehicles has to be maintained And of course, when it has to be maintained, it's going to require more costs. Agriculture. So how is agriculture automated? So there is automatic harvesting of crops. And how does that work? The sensors detect optimal times for harvesting based on factors such as the weather conditions, and the microprocessor will determine the exact locations for the harvest. Then the actuator are used to carry out the extraction of goods from the ground. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using automated system in agriculture? Okay, so we have delivery of chemicals such as pesticide and fertilizer can be given accurately, which is important to the success of farming and crops. The disadvantages: fewer job opportunities as humans are increasingly replaced by machinery, and the robots can also be very expensive. Weather stations. So automated weather stations require a microprocessor, a storage, a battery, which is usually with solar power charging, and a range of sensors. So here are examples of sensors that are used in weather stations. We have thermometer, which is used to measure the temperature, anemometer, which is used to measure the wind speed, hygrometer, which is used to measure the humidity, barometer to measure the air pressure, level sensor to measure the rainfall, and light sensor to measure the hours of daylight. So the data from sensor is all sent to a microprocessor, and any calculations are then done. So the data from the sensors and the calculated values are then stored on a central database. And some automated weather stations are sited near airports, where reports are sent out automatically every 5 minutes to pilots in the vicinity of the airport. So what are the advantage and disadvantage? So information about the overhead weather conditions is fed constantly to air traffic controllers, because air traffic controllers at every time needs to know the weather condition so that they know how to direct the airplane. So these informations are always needed at time intervals. Then the disadvantage sometimes can be incorrect. For example, if the snow is forecast and does not arrive. Gaming. So gaming devices involves sensors to give gaming. So gaming devices involves the use of several sensors to give a degree of realism to games. Sensors such as accelerometers. So basically, accelerometer is used to measure the acceleration and deceleration, and also measure and respond to tilting the game device forward or backward, and also side to side. Then we have proximity sensor. So proximity sensors is used in smart touchpads. Also, electrodes are embedded in touchpads that can detect the hand or finger position, thus increasing user awareness. So embedded accelerometers and proximity sensors, together with the microcontroller in a game, we allow increased human interaction with the game. And this allows players to take actions that simulate real events happening, giving a more immersed gaming experience. So basically, having all the sensor makes the user feel like they are actually controlling the device in real life. Okay, in lighting. So lighting control systems in a house where routines can be present based on behavior. Now, what is the function of the sensor, microprocessors, and actuators? So the sensor can detect the ambient light levels. The microprocessor can run routines based on human requirements. And the actuators can activate home equipment. Okay, for example, if it is night time, then the microprocessor is able to process that it's a night time based on the data that is received from the sensor, and thereby switch on the light. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages? The advantages: it is possible to control the light source automatically. We can reduce energy consumption. Wireless connection can be chosen, which are much safer, and longer bulb life. Also, it is possible to program new light display for various occasions. Now, the disadvantages. Of course, it's expensive to set the system up in the first place. If wireless connections are chosen, then they can be less reliable. Also, to ensure consistent performance, the automated system will require more maintenance, which of course will cost more money. Then in science, so automated systems are used in science. We have automated laboratory experiments that can be carried out continuously over many days. Now, what does the sensor do? So the sensor will detect the changes in the environmental conditions, and the microprocessor can calculate required alterations to the experimental settings. And then the actuators can turn on the heater, the coolers, or water supplies as required. What are the advantages? Number one, they are more consistent. Number two, they are less dangerous because automated system can work in hazardous environments. So if the chemical that are used are hazardous, okay, then it is faster result. You get faster result. Then there can be automatic analysis of the result. Also, fewer highly trained staff are needed for this experiment. And then the result or experiments can be monitored anywhere in the world in real time. The disadvantages: less flexible than when using human technicians. Also, there is security risk that are always present if the data is being shared globally. And lastly, equipment can be expensive to buy and set up in the first place. So that's all for this lesson. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.